Riddle. I'm with the Brain Support Network, and we are co-hosting today with Stanford's Movement Disorder Clinic a very short introduction to some research, exciting new research that should be approved and taking place soon at Stanford. It includes people with progressive supranuclear palsy. So we're glad to have a couple of folks from Stanford today talking about the research. And I'll let Leila Monteser-Crosari, the movement disorder specialist at Stanford, who's the principal investigator, give a short introduction. And then we'll hear from the researcher, or one of the researchers, Jiwon Yeon. She's a PhD. Thanks.
Hello, everyone. Well, thank you for joining. I work as a movement disorder specialist at the Movement Disorder Clinic at Stanford. And basically, we are looking for new innovations to know more about symptoms of Parkinson's disease, and then also new ways to monitor these symptoms and know more about the underlying causes of these symptoms, and then also if in any way we can come up with some prognostication for different aspects of Parkinson's disease. So this is a project that is in collaboration with my colleague Justin Gardner at WUSIME Neuroscience Department, and also June, that is like our postdoc that is lead in this project. So we will hear more from her, that she kindly accepted to give us an overview today. Thank you, June.
Yeah, thank you, Leila. Hi everyone. Thanks for having me and give a chance to promote our study. So here today I'm gonna talk about like what we are planning to do and start the experiment that's we are planning to do, like start it very soon. So before I move on to what the study is about, I'd like to introduce who I am working with for this project. So our group currently consists of 3 members, Dr. Justin Gardner, who is a vision scientist and an associate assistant professor at psychology in Stanford, and Dr. Leila Monteser-Crosari, who's a clinician for taking care of Parkinson's disease patients, and she's also affiliated in Stanford as a clinical assistant professor. And lastly, it's me. I'm Jiwon. I'm a researcher for human perception and cognition, and I'm affiliated in psychology at Stanford. So why are these 3 people gathered and what we are trying to do? So we wanted to build a new model that can capture oddities in the eyes for neurodegenerative diseases using our own skill sets. So in the this new neurodegenerative disease tracking method will be easy enough to use in daily life. Like you can track your heart rate using smartwatches. And if we achieve our goal, we anticipate that this new method will help both patients and clinicians in keeping track of their diseases. So how are we gonna achieve our goal? We wanted to collect some eye tracking data from our patients, and because the impairment in the cortical function causes oddities in the eyes, so that's what we wanted to measure. And we wanted to collect a large data from the patients with neurodegenerative diseases, so that we can build a model that can distinguish different oddities in the eyes that associated with different diseases. So what will you do when you participate in the study? We will ask our participants to wear a eyeglasses type eye tracker and do some simple daily activities. And this picture shows the actual device that we are going to use. It's purely look like glasses, but it keeps tracks of your eye movements. And there's this scene camera that captures the video of the scene that you are seeing. So while you're using this device and do the experiments, the device will collect your eye movements as well as the scene that you are seeing and the audios. And there will be two different setups in terms of spaces where you're going to do your experiment. The first is in clinic. So you will be assigned one of these two conditions. And if you are assigned to be in clinic experiment, then you will visit the clinic, and then there will be a researcher or a clinician who will direct you what kind of activities you have to do, and you will do these activities while you are while using the eye tracker glasses. And the experiment will last for no more than 2 hours. And even though we will targeting for one visit experiment, you may be requested to visit the clinic multiple times. And there's this other condition which you can do your experiment at home. And if you are assigned to this condition, then you will visit the clinic to retrieve the eye tracker. But then you will return your home with the device and use the glasses for several hours per day for multiple days.
And Jiwon,
then,
I'm sorry,
yes.
I just wanted to ask, so it's unknown whether somebody will be assigned to the in-clinic group or the at-home group, but these are two different tracks.
Yeah, they are two different tracks. So
Okay.
Yeah, you'll be assigned to one of these.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, so after the end of the data collection, you will return the eye tracker to the clinic. So your participation is very important for us to achieve our aim, which is developing a new tracking model that can capture different abnormalities in the brain. And to build this kind of method, we need a huge amount of data so that we can increase the accuracy of the method. And we anticipate that this, if we successfully develop this new method, then it will be beneficial for both patients and clinicians by and large to tracking down their progresses in their diseases. So you can reach out to us either to me through my email or text message, or to Dr. Leila. And also there's this QR code where you can submit an online form. It will ask you a couple of several questions regarding to your symptoms or your status. And we can reach back to you once you submit this form if you are eligible for the study. So I brought up some questions that you might have in your mind. So first, whether you are eligible for this, who's decide whether you're eligible for this study. So once you show your interest in the participation, then either me or my colleague will reach out to you to confirm your eligibility for the participation. Is using an eye tracker glasses safe? So eye tracker glasses are non-invasive, and it is completely safe to use, no matter what kind of disease you have. will my privacy safe? So as I briefly mentioned, this eye tracker machine tracks your eye movements as well as collect the scene video and audio. So we recognize that we recognize it, and also we put the priority on keeping your privacy safe. So we will encrypt all the personal information and save them separately from the data that we are collecting from the device, so that we can track back to you from your personal information to and associate your personal information to the data. And any identifiable information from the collected data will be removed so that we can keep your privacy. And how much will it cost to participate in the study? There will be no cost for the participation, and qualified participants may receive some participation fee. Even though you wanted to show interest for the participation, but after then you decided not to keep doing the study, that's completely fine with us. So you can stop the participation at any moment, at any time, for any reason. Once you participate in the study, the actual experiment will be in either in early or middle April. That's what we are aiming for now. So if you are interested in, please contact us and reach out to us. And if there's any questions, like, please feel free to reach out to us. Happy to answer them.
Jiwon, could you go back to that one page that's about the two tracks, the in clinic and at home? That'd be helpful. I wondered, you said that there's the possibility of a participation fee. So I'm assuming that that the fee might be able to cover transportation costs, or is it a small stipend that would cover transportation costs?
So we will cover the parking fee. We haven't specifically talked about the transportation fee, but we can consider it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, having the parking fee paid for is a huge relief for anybody who's ever come to Stanford Clinic and been insulted by the fact that you have to pay for parking to either see your clinician or participate in research. So it's nice to have at least that fee covered. If anybody else has questions, you could raise your hand. Again, I prefer that you not say your full name if you have questions, just because we're recording things, and I would like to protect everyone's privacy. So if anybody has questions, they can either raise their hand or type them into the chat or the Q&A box, either one. But I'll try to come up with some questions. So this looks, the neon glasses, I think, are the Google glasses, right? Or one version of the Google glasses.
It's a little different from Google Glasses. Google Glasses doesn't actually capture your eye movement or collect the records of it, but this one does, yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And these are the glasses, do they come in certain widths? Because we all have different, head widths. And I assume you would have various sizes of glasses there that would fit each person, each participant.
I think these glasses are just have like the regular size of the regular glasses. So it would be like fit for most of the people, I assume.
Okay. All right. I think. Yeah. So we got a request to please put up the QR code again. So people can, and I will also follow up with an email to everyone with the contact information for Jiwon, and this QR code. I'll include the tiny URL in my email follow-up.
Thank you.
Let's see, what else did I want to ask? Oh, how many people with PSP are you hoping to enroll in this study?
So we are currently targeting to recruit participants for like 16 participants for each group.
Okay.
So PSP and Parkinson patients with and without like mild cognitive deficits and healthy subjects, like 16 per each group.
Okay, and then there are 3 groups or 4 groups?
4 groups.
4 groups. Okay, PD with and without cognitive impairment, PSP, and then healthy controls.
Right.
So potentially somebody with PSP could come to the clinic and along with their, say, family member, a partner or adult child or any caregiver, any friend or family member, and both people, but if they assume that they're both accepted into the study, both people could participate in the study. Is that right?
Sorry, can you rephrase your question?
Yeah,
again?
so say if my father were still alive, he had PSP, clinical diagnosis of PSP. Say he and I both applied to participate in the study and we were both accepted. He and I could potentially come to the clinic at the same time and both pick up our glasses at the same time, and we could both then contribute to the study. I being a healthy control,
Right.
maybe not so normal anymore, but anyway, normal control.
So we currently have 1 device, but we are planning to buy a couple of more of them. But so given that we only have 1 device for now, like you can like not do the experiment simultaneously, but you can like, one person can do and the other one other person
sequentially is possible, Robin.
Okay. All right.
Simultaneously, not at the moment.
Okay, and sequentially at the clinic would be possible, but not sequentially at home.
Yeah, if you are assigned to, so in the beginning phase of our experiment or our study, we are planning to do in-clinic experiments more than at-home experiments.
Okay.
So currently, yes, you both can do your experiments in the clinic.
Okay, and if you could go back to the in-clinic versus the at-home page. So initially, it sounds like you're doing mostly in-clinic, and if 2 people in one family requested that they be in clinic, that could be accommodated, perhaps. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
All right. And what under the in-clinic side, it says the experiment will last for 1 to 2 hours. And obviously you're having people look at specific objects, you say, and do some daily activities. And it also says you may be requested to visit the clinic multiple times. So what would that mean?
So we are just wanting to be very conservative in making this statement here, I think. So depends on your like severity of the symptom, you may or may not be able to do certain activities more easily than the others, and that might slowing down the time of doing or completing an activities. So that's why we kind of set this experimental time more generously than we are actually expecting. Okay. So yeah, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I mean, that means that if patients cannot, because of their symptoms or some kind of issue that they have on that particular day, not give us like enough data, we might ask them to come again.
Okay, but your hope is that the one visit between 1 and 2 hours would be
Right.
sufficient.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. Are there, you haven't really said much about the inclusion or exclusion criteria. Does anybody with a PSP diagnosis, is anybody acceptable? Do they need to, for example, is it okay if they use a walker or in a wheelchair? What could you say about that?
Yeah. So the patient has to walk themselves, even though using the cane would be okay, but has to have certain amount of locomotion, ability, and also has to be able to read and write in English. And we are, so in the QR code, it will ask you those simple questions about your basic abilities. And with that, we can screen patients for our studies participation. And also we'll do some cognitive tests afterwards. And for this PSP particular test, we aim to recruit participants who doesn't have deficits in their cognitive ability. So with this test, it's a simple test, and you have to, for the participation, you have to have certain certain number of score for this test to participate in our study.
Okay, Layla, do you want to say anything about that, or?
Yeah, so I mean, I think with that, if we are planning to do that in the clinic, I think most likely patients will be able to pass that, but there is a possibility that, I mean, we are keeping in mind doing a MOCA, for example, which is just like, you know, for general cognitive assessment. There is a possibility that patients might not be able to pass it. And then in that sense, they might not be able to participate.
Okay, and you're not giving the MOCA exam until people come to the clinic?
Yeah, I mean, there is a video version of it that, you know, I know that it's available. That can be done over a video visit. But I think the way as now it's designed that it's going to happen in the clinic. But I mean, I think we might think about that to see how, you know, plausible it is, and is it going to be better to do it over the Zoom or something like that?
Yeah, and maybe you could just say what a MOCA is for
yeah, so MOCA is just, you know, a questionnaire that assesses different cognitive function in healthy controls, or even in patients with different neurodegenerative diseases. I mean, it checks for memory, visual spatial processing, and I think attention, working memory, and different aspects, language of cognitive ability. And usually if people, you know, score above 26, that means that, you know, kind of crudely, we can say that the cognition is intact. If it is like, you know, between 21, 26, then we think of mild cognitive impairment, and then usually below 16, that means that they have dementia.
Okay. Let's see, what else can I ask about this? Oh, and so you said people have to have the ability to either walk on their own, or they can use a cane, but using a walker, they would be excluded.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of PSP patients are walking with the walker.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's harder to find one that doesn't.
It will be very
yeah, so I think we just, it would be much better if they can. I think it is still possible to wear the glasses and walk with the walker. But I think, you know, we can when we have the patients, we will see how we can adjust our analysis in a way that it would be plausible to
Right.
work with PSP patients. I think we get a better sense that how many patients are able to walk with cane or themselves, or how many they need to have the walker. I mean, if the disease is just like in the early diagnosis phase, then they can.
Right.
But quickly after, unfortunately, we have a lot of patients that they need to use the walker.
Right. Yeah. Let's see. What else did I want to ask? I don't know if anybody else has any other questions, participants, but
So I need to jump off. If
Oh,
there are
yeah.
any questions,
you very
please let me
much.
know.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Okay, so well, Jiwon, appreciate your coming today to talk about this study, and I'll be sharing an email with everybody in our PSP group who might be interested in following up, and I'll send that out with the link to the recording of this short meeting. And if anybody has any questions, they can follow up directly with Jiwon, or if you email me, I'll forward the questions onto Jiwon. Thanks very much, everyone. Thanks, Jiwon. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Bye.
Yep. Bye-bye.